evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Davis Field for tonight's Heart of America men's soccer match between Culver-Stockton College and your Central Methodist Eagles. We ask that all players, coaches, and spectators abide by the NAIA Champions of Character values, which are respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. And now let's meet the starters for tonight's contest. First, for the visiting team on the scoreboard, Culver-Stockton College. Number 3, Tim Luca Ott. Number 6, Adam Name. Number 8, Caden Fugate. Number 10, Ethan Wilkinson Felgett. Number 11, Lucas Kim. Number 18, Martin Quijada Madrid. Number 21, Benjamin Donsel. Number 22, Santiago Martinez. Number 25, Jackson Baber. Number 27, Scott Jarvis. Ending goal, number 1, Jack Gibson. The Wildcats are led by head coach Kyler Hamilton, and he's assisted by Javier Magalan, Tyler Tomlinson, and Elizabeth Henshaw. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Central Methodist Eagles. Sophomore defender, number 2, Martin O'Toole. Junior defender, number 5, Adrian Stock. Junior defender, number 6, Basil Ernay. Senior forward, number 7, Isaac Johnson. A senior midfielder, number 8, Alvaro Carojo. Senior midfielder, number 10, Matthias Stork. Sophomore forward, number 11, Koen Schimmel. Freshman midfielder, number 12, Max van der Eerden. Junior midfielder, number 16, Cesar Cuellar. A senior forward, number 17, Jayton Johnson. Ending goal, freshman, number 1, Nicolo Cabras. The Eagles are led by head coach Adam Gallen, who's assisted by Eli Sherman and Darren Jones. Good luck to both teams. All right, welcome back to Davis Field. We've got Heart of America Athletic Conference men's soccer regular season action here. This is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications here at Central Methodist University, bringing you the action. This is Culver-Stockton College out of Canton, Missouri, taking on your Central Methodist Eagles. We are off and running, and again, I don't know why, we continue to have issues with our live stream scoreboard. We can get the... Oh, did you get it? Got the time? Wow, look at that. So, the GOAT of GAs, Caitlin Streeter, is just knocking it out of the park. We'll eventually get the scoreboard on here for you guys, and we'll be able to get some stuff going. So, apologize, couldn't figure it out for the women's game, but we've got it for the men, which is nice. So, again, this is a big-time matchup for both sides, and I'll tell you why here just in a second as soon as I can get my stuff figured out. Huh? So again, this is the second game of our nightcap, CMU women.
secured a 4-0 win over the Culver-Stockton women, clinching at least a share of their 5th straight Hart regular season championship. Again, it drives at least the alumni base nuts when we say share. It's just the thing that we do. I don't make the rules. That's what just it says in the bylaws. But that's Isaac Johnson with it now. Isaac Johnson flicks it on. Put back goal. Got it. CMU leads 1-0. So CMU's been searching for some goals early on, scoreless in their match against Park University on Saturday. But just like that, 90 seconds in, CMU's got a 1-0 lead. So CMU answers quickly, almost right out of the gate. Are you producing? Are you going to produce? Yeah. Can you, for a little bit? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. CMU looking for more here. Kuhn Schimmel sends one into Isaac Johnson, and as soon as this game settles down, we'll get more into the importance of this game. Johnson looking for Stork again. So again, the CMU men enter this contest 6-6-3, 3-4-2 in the Heart of America. They are currently in a tie. They are currently in a tie with Clark, and we'll get a stop. No, we won't get a stoppage in play, but CMU is currently tied for 8th with Clark University with 11 total points. So again, the way that it's listed on Presto, it's not based off of winning percentage first. It goes in terms of points. So 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points for a loss. So CMU, 11 points in the conference portion of their schedule. So they're currently tied for 8th with Clark University, both of those sides with 11 points at 3-4-2 overall. Culver-Stockton, bottom of the league, 0-8-1. Ball sent in, cleared by Culver, but it'll go the other way. It'll be a corner kick on the opposite side. So, again, CMU men didn't help themselves on Saturday, falling to Park, and that was a pretty close matchup. Those two schools about 7 and 8 in terms of seeding. So, CMU still in a good position to reach the conference tournament, but again, Eagles need to knock off Culver here tonight, so a 1-0 lead here early, which puts them in a good spot. This corner kick sent in. Ball still bouncing around, punched away. And a backflip kind of goal from Jayton Johnson, and CMU's got a 2-0 lead here. And just as I say that, he'll backflip, and signature celebration is underway. CMU's got a 2-0 lead. Checking out the initial replay here. Sent in, had initial deflection, and then it just found Jayton's foot, and then he just simple flip with the back of his foot there. Wasn't even looking at the net, and that might be a NAI top play. We'll see if I can submit that later in the week and see if he'll end up on the NAI scale. So CMU 2-0 lead, just less than 5 minutes into this first half. Goals from Stork and Jayton Johnson. And Jayton, a fifth-year senior, started his career. Played in the NAIA National Championship as a freshman in 2019, and he actually scored in that game. And it was a thrashing over Hastings College. That was the second straight national championship for the men's program. So Johnson has an act for the flare, and he does it again. Little back-footed flick, and then a backflip celebratory shot just to close it all out. And CMU's got a 2-0 lead here over Culver-Stockton. So if you guys are tuning in to CMU volleyball over in Olathe, CMU women took that first set 25-18 over Mid-American Nazarene. That ball sent up to Kuhn Schimmel. Kuhn Schimmel over to Isaac Johnson. Isaac Johnson skies that one over, and he'll want that one back. Wide open shot for Johnson. And a little too much juice in the leg there, too much power, and just sails over the crossbar. Again, CMU 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. They're looking for more here. There's Isaac Johnson. Johnson. Over to Jayton Johnson. Eagles under first-year head coach Adam Galla. Coach Gallas. Previously the head coach at Westminster College in nearby Fulton, Missouri. He was actually also an assistant coach for the CMU men and women under head coach Dan Schmidlin when Coach Schmidlin was pulling double duty. So Adam knows this area well and knows the program. So looking to make postseason play in his first year. So again, looking at the standings, I mean, it's really just scrunched up in the middle. You've got Baker is the 6th seed currently with 13 points. Park is 7th with 12, and then a logjam with Clark, CMU, and Grandview. 11 points, 10 points, and then that ball skied over too high. And then Graceland and Culver-Stockton with 6 points and 1 point respectively. So it's really a race for those final couple spots. Again, CMU can... Well, it all depends on what Clark does. Can you pull up Clark's schedule? So, again, as the night progresses, we'll just give you all the scores and the standings, and I'll attempt to do some math to see if I can figure out more of an updated schedule. So Clark knocks off Mount Mercy, initially down 2-0. Where was that? So at Mount Mercy, they come back and win. So that's a big win for Clark. So with that, they're going to move to 4-2. That's 14 points for Clark. And again, that's why this matchup against Culver is so big for CMU. And then I think it's going to be senior day on Saturday is basically going to be a race. Whoever wins that game is going to earn the 8th seed in the conference tournament. Unless I'm wrong. Someone feel free to come on and double check my math. But if I'm looking at it that way. Mount Mercy, 3 straight goals. They scored in the second and then the second minute and then 2 second-half goals. And Clark storms all the way back, scoring goals in the 70th, 74th, 75th, and 89th minute. So almost a draw, which would have just been 1 point, but big 3 points for Clark. And that was Schimmel with the shot too far wide, and we'll get our first substitution of the evening, and it'll be the way of Culver-Stockton College. That's going to be number 15, Esteban Velez. He replaces number 27, Scott Jarvis. So Jarvis's first half is done for now. We'll see if he gets to come back in. Yep. So again, CMU in control of their own destiny here to get into the conference tournament. Nice dish from Johnson over to Schimmel. That's Kuhn Schimmel. Schimmel looking for Stork too far out front, though. That'll be a simple. See if that trickles out the back of the end zone, and I think it does. So goalkeeper over there, I'll just elect to get that. I think that'll be a goal kick. So another big matchup and potential implications for seeding in the conference tournament. Benedictine is going to host, Park is going to host Benedictine College. BC currently 4th in the conference with 16 points. Park 7th with 12. So if Benedictine hands Park a loss and CMU takes care of business tonight and on Friday, they could potentially move up to be a 6 or 7 seed instead of an 8 seed, because if you're an 8 seed, you get to go to the number 1 and you're on the road the entire duration of the conference tournament. So again, all those implications as we go along here this evening. But again, CMU in good position here. 2 early goals, and we'll see if Culver-Stockton can respond here. And again, we're glad we were finally able to get the scoreboard clock on. I'm not sure what the issue was. As that shot is sent in, deflected though. That's Stork. Schimmel. Schimmel sends it crossway here to Isaac Johnson. Johnson looking for Vander Eerden. Vander Eerden. Good takeaway. Again, if you're tuning in around the conference, CMU Volleyball took set 1 over Mid-American Nazarene 25-18 in Olathe. I'll see if I can give you an update on the second set here as we go along. And CMU, second set, currently up 19-10, so they're looking good. And again, that was a big-time match that they needed to start out strong, and they're doing that there. So. Ball's cleared. Yeah, you'll have to ask her if she did it. I don't know what she did. CMU on a breakaway again. That's Matthias Stork. Sends it back to Schimmel. Schimmel's going to slow the pace down. So he's got Vander Eerden to his left. Dishes to Vander Eerden in the middle of the field. Over to Cuellar. Cuellar deflected. It goes the way of Culver-Stockton. They've got a little bit of a jailbreak. Culver-Stockton, ball in the middle. Just off the post on the putback. Too high. So shot initially by Ethan Wilkinson Felgate, number 10. And that just hit the post. If that had just been a little more inside. And then I'll see if I can get the second shot for you, which just ended up getting skied over. So Ethan Wilkinson Felgate, with that initial shot, just hit the inner post, and then Lucas Kim, almost similar to Isaac Johnson's shot here earlier, just ends up skying it over the net. So it could have been an easy goal for Culver-Stockton. Alas, it'll be, still haven't put one up on the board, just 15 minutes in. CMU 2-0 lead. Vander Eerden over to Johnson. And the CMU men are currently 3-4-2 in conference play. We'll just throw overall records out the window, because at this point it's all about conference tournament. Clark with their win, 4-4-2. They've got 14 points, so they jump up to 7th. Park slides down into that 8th spot because Park beat CMU on Saturday. They would have the tiebreaker if that, for some reason, gets to that point. So. Johnson throw into Cuellar. Again, we really at some point we'll get Tim on a broadcast because we're just talking about all the different scenarios. We sit and talk about it in the office all day. We should really just make it we should make it a podcast. Conference seating with Tim and Rachel live on the Heart Conference Network. Vander Eerden slips the ball in. It's deflected. The people in the box would agree, so Tim, let's make it happen. I can't think of something more that people would want to do than listen to you and me talk. Especially about conference standings and ratings and like where people are, where people sit. Love that. So, corner kick for CMU. I think this is Schimmel on the near side. Sends one into the box. Headed. Jack Gibson in goal tonight for Culver. Easy snag. So, CMU Volleyball takes set 2 convincingly over Mid-America Nazarene by a final of 25-11. So, one more and they'll secure a sweep, which again is big time, especially when they're playing so many October games. If you guys remember, they basically lived in Puckett Fieldhouse way back when in September, and then we haven't really seen them much in October. So, Erne flicks that on to Vander Eerden. A little bit of a miscommunication. Gibson will corral that, sky that high. Again, CMU to strong offensive possession here. Culver-Stockton really no answers yet for CMU. Johnson was looking for Vander Eerden in the middle. Johnson still with it. Eventually turned over now to Jayton Johnson. Vander Eerden. Schimmel. Nice little dish to Isaac Johnson. He needs support over in the middle. Johnson stays with it. Sends one in. Schimmel trying to chase it down. Dishes it back to Perojo. Perojo to Schimmel. Schimmel over to Martin O'Toole on the far side. O'Toole back to Adrian Stock. Over to Vander Eerden here on the near side. Another goal for CMU. So Matthias Stork, he's got a brace early on in this first half, and really just a beautiful strike from the senior midfielder, and he's having quite a day here against Culver-Stockton College. You can throw up a replay for you. He just sends one, a little bit of a deflection, finds the back of the net, and CMU's got a 3-0 lead just 20 minutes into this match, and they are cruising. And again, these are big-time points that you want to get as you close out postseason play. So Kuhn Schimmel's going to get the assist on that one. So CMU a 3-0 lead here over Culver-Stockton. A brace for Stork to lead the way for Central. Cuellar sends that up, and he's looking for Stork again. Stork tries to outrun, and Moslin down will get a substitution for Culver-Stockton here. That'll be number 24. Although I don't know if I have a number 24 in my roster sheet. See if we can find out who this mystery player is. I don't have him either. So we're going to figure out who this mystery player is. I have a few different ways to find him. See if I can hunt him down. Streeter, I'll get it for you in a second. Schimmel, towards the middle of the field. So we'll figure out who this mystery player is. Number 24. We think it might be Tristan Lunsford, but we're not sure because, again, he doesn't have a number on this lineup sheet. So we'll confirm here shortly, see if we can figure out who it is. And CMU a 3-0 lead. Got 22 left on the clock as the rain is coming down here at Davis Field. Again, I've said it before, but a big-time matchup here at Davis. And if CMU wins, they will... See if I can pull it up here. They'll remain in a tie for 8th place, but again, only your top 8 get in. So they'd have 14 points, but with Clark's win tonight over Mount Mercy, correct? Over Mount Mercy, they've got 14 points as well. So the final seed in the conference tournament will probably be decided on Senior Day this Friday. So with that, CMU would secure potentially the number 8 seed as we get a stoppage and play on the clock. Looks like we've got a player injury at 21:14 left on the clock. So we'll take a quick break. CMU's got a 3-0 lead here over Culver-Stockton. You're listening to CMU Eagles Men's Soccer here on the Heart Conference Network. So Christopher Joyner, number 7, he's going to come in for Culver. He will replace number 22, Santiago Martinez. So with Clark's win, they actually move up a spot to number 7. They've got 14 points. Park, since they haven't played yet today, they'll drop to the 8th spot with 12 points. So Jayton Johnson with his throw in. Ball's headed, punched out. Matthias Stork looking for a hat trick. Ball's down. Culver-Stockton clears it. We'll see if they can counter. And the rain is really starting to come down. I think Liam Arthur might be checking in. We'll see. Johnson back to Perojo. Perojo here in the midfield. Over to O'Toole, and I don't know if you guys can see the rain on the screen, guys, but it is really, really raining. Goodness gracious, so. No. Maybe in the second half. Maybe in the second half of it clears up. We'll get a foul. That'll be on number 15. And the wind has really picked up, according to the weatherman himself, the meteorologist Tim Crowley. Again, if anyone's looking to hire him, I prefer he stay here. But if you guys would like to pick him up part time, feel free. On our off days, so the wind is really coming in from the south, and it's just a downpour here at Davis Field. CMU a 3-0 lead. Makes the ball a little bit slicker. It rolls a little bit faster, so could be an advantage. We'll just have to see that shimmel. Our meteorologist is going to go check and see how cold it is outside. So we'll get a couple more substitutions for Central. That'll be number 9, Liam Arthur, and number 26, Sophie Njauzi. They will replace Stork, number 10, and Jayton Johnson, number 17. It is not cold, according to our meteorologist. So CMU 3-0 lead. About under 20 minutes left here in half number 1. Again, this is the second of our conference doubleheader. CMU women with a 4-0 win over the Wildcats earlier. That was the 5 o'clock match. They secured their 5th, well, let me clarify, a share of their 5th straight Hart regular season championship. So obviously, if they win against Clark on Senior Day this Friday, they'll clinch it outright, and they will have the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. But I think they would have it anyway because the number 2 seed, Missouri Valley, they won that head-to-head. So even if they were to lose, they'd still get that number 1 seed. But you would have co-champions, which a lot of people don't necessarily like, but that's what they tell us to do, so that's what we'll go with. So Central Volleyball currently leads MNU 2-0 overall. They're trailing in set 3, 9-8. So we'll see what happens in that third set. See if the Pioneers, who are the defending conference and tournament champions from 2022, will see if they can force a 4th set and potentially a 5th. CMU looking to close that down. And maybe at halftime we'll talk about volleyball standings and where we can put people. We'll see if my podcast host would like to join me. What? We could do that. Let's talk about it. We could. And then just went to sleep. Vander Earden to Johnson. That's Jayton Johnson. Correction, Jowsey. Jowsey to Cuellar. Cuellar back to Stock. Jowsey to Isaac Johnson. And shout out to Alicia Gallo if she's tuning in. I think she is. So, used to be the sports information director at William Woods University in nearby Fulton. So if you're tuning in, Vander Earden with a shot. Just off the post on the left, and that was an absolute screamer. And, man, if that had gone in, that would have been something else. We'll see if we can capture that replay and take a look at it here shortly. As the leaves start to fall, as well as some rain over here on the left. So let's see if we can fire off this replay. So initial turnover and nice little dish, and Mats van der Eerden with just a strike and just gets off of the left post. Gibson wouldn't have been able to get that one. So Liam Arthur sends one in. Ball still in the box. Perojo, that's Alvaro Perojo with a shot. Deflected. So Alvaro Perojo off the deflected shot goes in, and CMU's got a 4-0 lead here at Davis Field. So we'll see if we can get the initial shot. So that ball sent in by Liam, then an initial deflection, punched back out, and then Perojo. Just like that, CMU 4-0 lead over Culver-Stockton. Culver-Stockton currently has not been their year. 0-8-1 in conference. They've just got 1 point as they sit at the bottom of the conference standings. As we'll get a couple more substitutions for CMU. Number 13, Nafal Hassani, and then number 19, Kian Halpin. So imagine with the scoreline, with the way it is, that we'll have a number of substitutions for both sides. And then I believe this is going to be number 14, Lucas Perrin. It is, so he'll come in at some point. Isaac Johnson comes off for CMU. You have to imagine he'll get some action here in the second half as we go along. CMU volleyball currently a 15-10 lead over MNU in set 3. So CMU looking to close in on a sweep and a big-time conference victory as Perrin comes in and he replaces Perojo for CMU. And then Culver-Stockton, number 12, Josh White, replaces number 21, Benjamin Donsel. And again, we still don't know who that mystery player, number 24, is. We have our assumptions, and we think that it's Tristan Lunsford. But again, he doesn't have a number on the roster, so we can't verify that. Quick discussion by our official, but we're back at it. Getting a little chippy here, as you can imagine. Halpin back to Perrin. Perrin to Stock. Stock over to Erne. Erne to Mats van der Eerden. Van der Eerden up to Halpin. Halpin, he's got Arthur on his left as well as van der Eerden. Halpin. Nice move by Halpin. Keen Halpin sends one in. Jowsey, shot. Initially blocked. Maintains possession, though. Jowsey again sends one in. Looking for Arthur. Cleared by Culver. O'Toole collision. Perrin. Just about 11:40 remaining here in the first half. That's Jowsey. Jowsey again looking to get a corner, and he does. So an opportunity to set piece for your Eagles as they've got a 4-0 league, but we'll get a stoppage in play as I think we've got either someone's injured or they're tying their shoe. I can't tell, but we stopped the clock, which always makes me think of an injury. So, all right, so the official's going to have to go in and sort out whatever's going on in the box because 19 of 22 players are on in the box, and it is stacked. The ball set in. Kian Halpin puts CMU up 5-0. And CMU just pouring it on here in the first half. 5 goals in just 34 minutes of action. Set piece for CMU, and I think that was Jowsey on the corner, and then just a simple head in for Kian Halpin. And CMU's got a 5-0 lead here over Culver-Stockton. Vanderjurden to Cuellar. Cuellar to Ernay. And again, goal differential I think also plays a key in tiebreakers if it ever gets to that point. So this would be one of those games where you want to score and you want to score a lot. And CMU has certainly done that. 5 first-half goals just in the first 35 minutes of action. So, but the way it currently sits. Again, I haven't looked at scores from around the conference lately, but entering today, Valley leads the way with 24 points. Currently, first place looks like they'll probably lock up the regular season championship. William Penn, second with 18. Mount Mercy, 17 points. Benedictine, 16. MNU, 14. There's a collision in the box. Halpin goes down. Nothing called, though. So Benedictine currently fourth with 16 points. MNU, fifth with 14. Baker with Baker 6th with 13 points, but if I can read my handwriting, I can tell you what's going on here. I don't know if I can. I'm just having trouble trying to decipher what I wrote. Anyway, entering today, Park 7th with 12 points. Clark, they actually won today, so they jump a spot above Park. So Clark is currently number 7. Park is 8. CMU coming in at the 9 spot with 11 points. But, again, Park has yet to play. They will play Benedictine College tomorrow, which could be a pivotal game. So CMU well on their way to earning a win here. They'll have 14 points, and they'll be tied with Clark. So again, in that senior day matchup, that'll be a battle for the 8th and final spot in the conference standings, depending on what happens with Park and Benedictine. Because if that's the case, then CMU might be able to jump a spot with a win over Clark and slide into that 7th seed, and potentially instead of having to play Valley on the road, they could go to either Penn or Mount Mercy. So a few different scenarios for CMU, but again, that's always a fun time. CMU volleyball currently leading 21-16 over the Pioneers in Olathe, so it looks like they're going to close in on a sweep. We'll have a couple more substitutions. That'll be number 21, Gage Cameron, as well as number 3, Jan Bechter. Jan, a regular starter for CMU on the defensive back line. Not a starter this evening, though. Ernay to Halpin. Halpin back to Ernay. That's Halpin. He's got some space. Kian Halpin. Ball deflected. CMU still with it. Again, just under 9 minutes left here in the first half. CMU just pouring it on in terms of goals. Looking the way Matthias Stork, he came out early in this first half just with the way the score line's looking, but he's got a brace. Kean Halpin, Alvaro Perojo also getting in on the scoring as well. Cuellar over on the near side. Cuellar has got Halpin on his left. I've been looking for Van der Eerden. Mats Van der Eerden. Over to and the leaves are really starting to fall. I think the rain has stopped, but the wind has picked up, so makes for just a nice cold October evening here in lovely Fayette. Ball sent in. Over the cross. And we'll get our next pair of substitutions. So Jan Bechter and number 21, Gage Cameron. Gage normally wearing a different number this evening, but had a jersey situation, so he'll be wearing number 21. Coming off will be Martin O'Toole and Mats Van der Eerden. Culver-Stockton with a shot. Attempted to cross. CMU comes away with it clear. That's Ernay. Ernay to Arthur. Arthur to Lucas Perrin. Lucas Perrin up to Kean Halpin. He's got Arthur in the middle. Halpin. Halpin still with it. Goes out of the back of the end zone. We'll say which way it gets called. They'll call that a goal kick, so Culver-Stockton will come away with it. Yay! So CMU Volleyball completes the 3-set sweep over Mid-America Nazarene. They take it in straight sets, winning set 3 by a score of 25-20. So again, that's a big one for conference seeding, especially in their pursuit of a ball sent in. Back of the net, got it, goal. CMU leads 6-0. So Nafal Hassani finds the back of the net, and he gets in on the scoring. And CMU is just absolutely rolling here in first half action. They've got a 6-0 lead over Culver-Stockton College, well on their way to a much-needed win as we close in on the final few games of conference play here in the regular season. So CMU Volleyball takes care of business in Olathe. The CMU women are taking care of business, or took care of business at Davis Field here tonight, and the CMU men are doing much of the same, so good night if you're a CMU fan. So again, which the people in this box are, so it's very good for them. And as you can imagine, getting slightly chippy here as we'll get a foul. That'll be on number 17, CJ Joyner. Just under 5 minutes left here in half number 1. Ball sent up. Cameron was looking to get in on the scoring. Halpin right there as well. Too far out in front, though. So again, I think in the second half I will, with the help of my co-assistant AD over here, we'll break down conference seating for men's soccer and maybe a little bit of volleyball, depending. So we'll see. It'll be a corner kick for the Eagles here on the left side of your screen. Again, I've got a 6-foot wall in front of me, so it's hard for me to really see anything, but you guys can get that picture, which is nice. So corner kick for CMU. The box is stacked. This ball sent in, headed. Stays in play, goes out eventually, so it'll just be a simple goal kick for the Wildcats. So 3.5 minutes remaining. It's Halpin. Keenan Halpin, he goes down. We'll get a foul called. Foul will be on number 3, Tim Luca Ott. So with the win for CMU volleyball, they improved to 18-7 overall, and even more important, 12-3 in conference play. That ball is sent wide. So again, a much-needed win for the Eagles, coming off a tough 3-0 loss to Park in Parkville. But again, Park, a top 10 team every year, so nothing to be ashamed of there. Next big match for CMU volleyball, they'll go to Atchison this Friday night. Take on the Ravens, Benedictine. Kind of a surprise team in the conference. As that ball is headed, goes out of play though. So again, Benedictine, kind of a surprise team for volleyball, at least this year. Came into Fayette and handed CMU their first home loss of the year. First loss in conference play. So 3-1, and CMU was a little out of sync that game, if you guys remember, but they eventually got it together and then rattled off 5 straight victories, all coming in straight sets. All of those also at home. So just under 90 seconds left here. That's Halpin, Kean Halpin. He's got some space. Defender all over him. He maintains possession, though. Halpin. Ball sent in. Right at Gibson, though. So again, at the conclusion of this half, we'll give you some quick stats, and then we'll take a quick break. And then we'll come back with second half action for you live here on the Hart Conference Network. So following Benedictine, CMU have a couple non-conference matches over in nearby Columbia, Missouri. If you guys remember, that was supposed to be rescheduled. Was supposed to be scheduled for September 13th, but then someone, I think, came down with COVID. So those games got rescheduled, went over to Columbia. So if you're in the Columbia area and want to watch 3 of the top teams in Missouri duke it out, those games are at 5 and 7. If not, of course, you can watch all those games live on CMUEagles.com. It won't be on the Hart Conference Network, but it'll probably be on the AMC network, and they always do a good job over there. So, and then they'll close things out. At the moment, they'll close things out with Baker on Halloween night. That'll be senior night on October 31st, 7 o'clock serve. Senior night festivities will follow. So the 10-second countdown is on, and with that, we hit the halftime break. CMU 6 first-half goals. Goals by Stork, Johnson, Perojo, Halpin, and Nafal Hassani to get in on the scoring. CMU just pouring it on. Culver-Stockton, 17 total shots, 7 shots on goal for CMU compared to just 4 shots, 1 shot on goal for the Wildcats. Jack Gibson for Culver, he's been busy all evening long, and CMU's put the pressure on early. Matthias Stork leads the way. He's got 4 shots, 2 shots on goal, as well as a brace. Jayton Johnson and Isaac Johnson both with 2 shots. A goal for Jayton. Kean Halpin also in. He's got 2 shots on goal. And clean sheet so far for Nicolo Cabras, a freshman goalkeeper, in the first 45. He's got a save here as we hit halftime. So that'll do it here for first half action. We'll come back in about 14 minutes and 42 seconds, maybe a little bit more, depending on if I need to help reset the field, which is always a fun thing as folks come back on. So we'll take a quick break. So CMU 6-0 lead here over Culver-Stockton as we hit the halftime break. You've been listening to CMU Eagles Men's Soccer here on the Hart Conference Network. right, welcome back to Davis Field. This is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications here at Central Methodist University, bringing you second half action here in the heart of America for men's soccer. This is CMU, a 6-0 lead over Culver-Stockton College. Seems looking to add more. That's a dish off to Kuhn Schimmel. Schimmel, Jayton Johnson, shot deflected, stays with it. Again, CMU picking up right where they left off in the first half, just about 90 seconds in. Matthias Stork got the scoring started for CMU, and it looks like it might be much of the same here in the second half. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, CMU needing a pair of wins to solidify a spot in the conference tournament. They are currently entering the standings today, they're currently on the outside looking in with at ninth place with 11 total points. So we get a stoppage in play. An injury on the field, so it gives us a chance to talk about what's gone on today. So Clark actually took care of business as they were the 8th seed, and they'll jump up. They'll take over Park's position in the 7th spot because Park hasn't played yet. They will play tomorrow. So Clark currently with 14 points, Park with 12 points. That's a 7-8 matchup. And then CMU kind of currently on the outside looking in, entering today, mind you, but firmly in front of Culver-Stockton, so they'll pick up 14 points here, and they'll be in a tie for 7th place with Clark. We'll just have to see what happens with Park and Benedictine. Park and BC will play tomorrow in Parkville, so Benedictine should take care of business. They're sitting at number 4 in the conference, but again, the simple fact of it is, and people have said this to me, for CMU men's soccer, in order to make the conference tournament, you just need to win. Win and you're in. So they're taking care of business here tonight, up 6-0. So they can take care of business against Clark on senior day. They will be firmly in the conference tournament. And at that point, it'll just be a matter of they'll be a 7 or 8 seed. We'll have to see what's going on there. So throw in for CMU. Ball's headed away. And again, like I said, CMU women's volleyball picked up a nice 3-0 road sweep over Mid-American Nazarene. Again, the Pioneers, not their strongest year. Last year, they absolutely rolled through the conference. But this year, not much different in terms of their starting lineup. They lost one of their good players, but not the same team as last year. And CMU picks up a 3-set sweep. Of course, CMU volleyball absolutely stacked with seniors, especially on the floor. Annabelle Mawson, Delaney Miller, Callie Henson, Crystal Bronner. So a lot of veteran leadership. They've been through the craziness of COVID. A few of them have experienced a conference championship, especially Bronner and Henson, their first year back in 2019. So it's a senior-laden team that's had a lot of growth over the past 4 or 5 years, and this is their one final run at a tournament bid. So again, we'll see if my fellow podcaster over here, Tim, would like to talk about Hart volleyball. He's doing we're researching soccer because of course that's what we're watching on your screen. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll get into volleyball perhaps later in the broadcast. But again, CMU women picked up a 4-0 clean sheet of Culver-Stockton College in the first game of the day. And with that, they moved to 14-1-1 and perfect 10-0 in conference play. That'll be a foul on Perojo. He doesn't agree with it, but he's going to try to ask some questions. I think the official's going to say no. Just get on back. Let's get going. So CMU women, even if they drop a contest on Friday, they'll still clinch the number 1 overall seed in the conference tournament because they won the head-to-head against Missouri Valley. But again, they'll play Clark Friday, October 27th. That will be senior day festivities. It's an early matchup for the Eagles and Pride. It'll be a 3 o'clock kickoff. So senior day ceremonies will start afterwards, or pregame, and then CMU men will follow suit. They'll also play Park and have their senior day festivities pregame as well. So if you're around, come on down to Davis Field, or if you can't catch it, we'll have all of it live and ready for you to view on the Hart Conference Network, CMUeagles.com. This is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications, bringing you the action tonight. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you guys, but I'm glad to be back on the broadcast, glad to be back on the mic. New goalkeeper in for CMU, that's Morris Van Tunen. All set in. Good save by Van Tunen, comes back out. Thank you. Ball sent in, deflected. Ball sent in again. A little bit off the mark. 15. CMU looking to add more. It's Jayton Johnson, shot deflected. Goes out of the back of the end zone. It'll be a corner kick for CMU. So again, we've got men's basketball Thursday, season opener against Friends University. It'll be at 7 o'clock in Puckett Fieldhouse. And then we've got men's and women's soccer at 3 and 5:30 on Friday, part of Senior Day festivities. And time to wrap up our weekend, we'll have homecoming football for you. It's going to be CMU football taking on Missouri Valley College at 1 o'clock at Davis Field. And if you're around, we'll have a pep rally at 9 p.m. in Puckett Fieldhouse. So be on the lookout for more of that as we get further and further into the week. Culver looking to counter quickly here. Ernay. So no stoppage in play. We'll get a hard foul on Culver-Stockton, so it'll be a free kick for CMU. So that'll kind of conclude our homecoming festivities. But boy, we roll right into late October, early November, as we've got men's wrestling for you against St. Ambrose on Monday night. And then we've got Senior Day volleyball for you on Halloween on Tuesday night. Do we have anything on the first? We've got doubleheader basketball for you on Wednesday. Ball sent in. Ernay. Shot punched out. And I'm one of those people, I look at things a week at a time. I probably should plan that out a little bit better, but it's going to be busy. That's Jayton Johnson. Jayton Johnson. Shot too high for the senior. Goes out of play. I think it'll be a corner kick, though. Looks like it was deflected, and it will, so we'll see who ends up taking this. Again, I'll let someone with better eyesight tell me if they can figure it out. But it looks like Ernay, so Basil Ernay. Ernay, a junior. All-American for CMU. All-conference selection. Ball taken in. Is back, and I think it'll be deflected by Culver, so we'll go the other way. So it's going to be either Schimmel or Perrin, I believe, over there on the far side. I think that's Lucas Perrin. We'll see if he elects to take the short kick. Perrin shot in. Headed by a few different players, but again, I think it was deflected off of Culver, so again, either a corner kick or a really deep throw, and we'll just have to see. So deep throw in, Schimmel right there. Ball goes out of, actually does go out of play, so it'll be a goal kick for Culver-Stockton. Again, CMU currently entering today 9th in the conference, or tied for 8th, I guess you could say, but they with 11 points. But because they haven't played Clark yet, that's their senior day matchup. That'll be the determining factor on the conference tournament. So Tim is doing some researching over here. We're writing it out on the old-fashioned way on pen and paper, so we'll see what he comes up with, and we'll talk about it here shortly. So, but again, at the end of the day, CMU just win and you're in. So at that point, it'll just be a matter if you're a 7th or an 8th seed. So foul called on Culver, so see if CMU elects to take it quickly. They will. Isaac Johnson's going to sky one up. Jayton Johnson comes away with it. Possession goes to Culver. Throw in for CMU. Again, 32-30 left here in half number 2. CMU closing in on their 4th win of conference play. 7th win overall. Over to O'Toole on the near side. Johnson with a little flick. Ball sent in. Deflected off of Culver, comes out of the box. It's Aaron. That's Stork. Stork's looking for a hat trick. Got it. So Matthias Stork completes the hat trick for CMU. That's 7-0 now here. It's about 15 minutes left here, 15 minutes gone here in the second half. Stork with the hat trick. Assist is going to go to Aaron. So again, a 4-0 win for CMU women's soccer over Culver. It was the earlier matchup today. CMU volleyball picks up a 3-0 sweep over Mid-American Nazarene in Olathe. Again, at some point, the volleyball team's going to come back on campus and play a home game, but it'll be their senior night. Parojo, that's Stork. He's looking for another one. Ball sent in. Johnson, too high. I think that might have been deflected, though, and I think so because we'll have a set piece for CMU. And again, we'll get you stats at the end of this game. This will be much in favor of CMU as Culver-Stockton just hasn't had an answer. So, corner kick for Central. Corner kick quickly taken at Schimmel. Ball's still in the box, finally cleared. Culver-Stockton with it now. Seeing if they can counter. Perojo over to Isaac Johnson. Johnson, senior, looked to send a cross in. It was deflected. So we've still got about so deep throw in for CMU. That ball will go out of play, so it'll be a corner kick, and we'll have a host of substitutions for CMU. So just under 30 minutes left here, so there's 60 complete minutes, about an hour of game time. CMU 22 shots, 9 shots on goal, compared to just 5 shots, 1 shot on goal for Culver-Stockton. 8 corners, it's about to be their 9th. They've really gotten well on set pieces, and I hope my GA on stats is ready for these subs, because there's about, I think we're basically resetting the entire field. Why is the clock? Ball cleared out, and I don't know if you can see them on the bottom of your screen, but we're going to have 9 substitutions for CMU. Might have to pay my GA a few extra bucks to put all those subs in. We'll see. We'll see if she says anything at the end of the night. Ball sent in. Goes out of play. So off the top of my head, I see Cameron, Arthur, Bechter, Halpin, Wood, Jowsey, Hassani. So basically, a complete reset on the field besides Martin O'Toole and the goalkeeper Morris Van Tunen. We've got a whole new lineup for you. So, CMU 7-0 lead here, just under 27 minutes left. Yeah. Ball sent in. Too high for... I believe that's Gage Cameron. Let me make sure I confirm. It is, so Gage Cameron gets his first stat of the night. Shot just a little bit too high. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
So,
Am I just reciting this? What do you want me to do?
I can do whatever you want to do. Here's a scoop. As it stands right now,
All right, guys. So for the first time ever, we are going to have a guest speaker for men's soccer, and I can't be more excited. As that ball is scooped up by Gibson. So Tim Crowley, assistant AD, director of everything. Game operations, event management, you name it. It is also his side gig. He likes to talk about scenarios in the Heart of America Athletic Conference for men's soccer. So I'm going to hand this mic over to him, and he's just going to rattle off some scenarios, or we can talk about it.
we're going to talk together. So as it stands right now, even with games in progress tonight, you gotta be able to see my paper. Valley is number 1, Penn is number 2, Mid-America and Mount Mercy are tied at 3, but I haven't done the tiebreakers on them. Benedictine would be at 5. Right now, as it stands, going in, if this game continues the way we expect it to, that CMU will be the 6th seed and Clark would be 7, based on goal differentials. Both teams would have a 4-4-2 record in the conference, but CMU has a +2 goal differential and Clark has a -6 goal differential. So for those of you who are figuring this out at home, you can find the procedures on the Hart website, but they only allow to go to either +3 or -3 on goal differentials. So even though CMU is up 7-0 right now in this game, it only counts as +3 for the tiebreakers for the conference. Then you've got Baker would be at 8 with 13 points, and Park would be 9 with 12 points. So it comes down to if the game on Friday with Clark, as long as we win or tie, we will be above Clark. If we lose to Clark, then we'll drop because we have the tiebreaker on Clark if we tie.
So from that, thank you, Tim.
Clear as mud.
No, that made sense. That was very good information. Long story short, though, if CMU wins, they'll be the 7th seed. If they lose, they'll be the 8th seed. Right? Long story short,
Stands right now.
as it stands at this moment in time.
Oh, wow.
As we'll get a hard tackle on Culver-Stockton. Kean Halpin goes down in a heap. So, with that being said, depending on, again, I don't think anyone's going to be able to catch Missouri Valley, but CMU, if they land in that 7th spot, they could potentially play William Penn up in Oskaloosa or Mid-America over in Olathe. Just have to wait and see. Again, we're not sure what that looks like here because we still have games to be played tomorrow as well. Benedictine and Park will be another one. So that's what that looks like there. So it's free kick will be taken. That's
And we could even, BC could even drop it if they lose to Park tomorrow.
Yep.
They could drop a long ways.
So that's what it looks like for men's soccer standings. Again, William Penn, it was a team that almost ran the table last year in the conference tournament. They knocked off MNU and Missouri Valley both on the road. So that's a team you're going to have to see them at some point, but they're a dangerous team. So they'll make some noise in the conference tournament, I'm sure. And, of course, Missouri Valley, always a staple in the heart of America. So CMU will have some work to do in the conference tournament, but first they got to take care of business as they're doing here tonight. Up 7-0 over Culver-Stockton. They'll have a senior day matchup against Clark University, and like I said, based on the breakdown that Tim Crowley gave, if CMU defeats Clark, knocks them off, they'll be the 7th seed. If they lose, they'll be the 8th seed. But so as we're over here talking through all these procedures, Gage Cameron gets on the score sheet, and it is an 8-0 lead here for CMU over Culver-Stockton College, and we've got some more breakdowns. So let me pop the headset off, and I'll let Tim give some more breakdown.
Well, another key thing to watch out for if you're looking at the standings and the games that are active tonight, William Penn is up 1-0 early in the second half over Grandview. Grandview can still sneak up if they win tonight, can pull out a win there tonight, and then they go beat, let's see who they play on Saturday. Where did it go? Hang on, I'm getting too close here. You got it. I guess they're off on some. No, they play Culver. So if Penn can go come back and beat Penn tonight, and then do what we would expect it to beat Culver-Stockton on Saturday, they could jump over Central Methodist if we lose on Friday. So it's just there's still a whole bunch of options out there. You have to wait and see. And another big one is the Benedictine game against Park tomorrow.
But CMU isn't, even though they win tonight, they're still not necessarily in the conference tournament, correct?
They're not guaranteed yet. They'll need to win or at least get a tie on Saturday, if I figured it correctly.
You heard it here first, folks. Again, CMU looking to add more. That's Kean Halpin. Deflected by the goalkeeper. Still in play, though. So, again, that was pretty much a complete breakdown of the tiebreakers and everything that's going into that last weekend. No wonder you were writing so much. Like a whole... You could teach a university class on tiebreakers. That's how that'll shape up. CMU not necessarily in the conference tournament, but winning these next two games and, again, firmly in front of Culver-Stockton here, 8-0. Just a matter of getting the clock to wind down. So, but, again, Clark will be the big matchup on Friday afternoon. So that'll be at 5:30, Senior Day. Festivities will commence pregame. So with that being said, we will transition over and look at some volleyball tiebreakers and scenarios for Central Volleyball. A little bit different layout. It's not necessarily a 1 through 8. Top 2 from each division get those automatic. Well, not automatic, but clinch a spot in the conference tournament, and then after that it's just the next 4. So, again, depending on what division you're in, it makes all the difference in the world. Of course, Hart South Division for volleyball is much, much stronger than the North. That ball is punched out by Van Tunen. So, ball sent in right at Van Tunen. Again, volleyball, like I said, the South is much stronger. They've got Park, CMU, obviously, Benedictine, MNU. Call that the black and blue division of volleyball, if you ask me. So we'll get some breakdown there for you guys, as if anyone on the bus for volleyball is listening. If you are, guys, congratulations, big time win. So you got a couple more coming up, but shout out to you guys, and if you're tuning in on the bus, we appreciate you listening in. Tim is riding in a fury out here, so we will get a full breakdown of the volleyball standings as they currently sit, but so I'm looking at the standings now, and I think most of these games have been played. Let me see if there's any still to be had. Park currently out in front, 15-0 in conference play, 25-2 overall. CMU 12-3, 18-7 overall. So Benedictine, with their defeat to Park, they fall into third place in the South Division standings. CMU slides up one spot to number 2, but again, the deciding game, at least in my opinion, again, we'll have Tim come on and he'll give the full breakdown here. In terms of conference standings and seeding is going to be CMU at Benedictine this Friday in Atchison. That's going to be a big time one. Benedictine handed CMU their first conference loss of the year, and that was actually the conference opener. So I think Tim's got it ready. I'm going to ask him here in just a second. All right, you want me to break it down, or you want to break it down? Fair enough. So if I can get my light on, because it's very dark in this press box, so we'll talk about it now. That's Kean Halpin. Good tackle. So looking at how it stands right now, the top two in each division for volleyball earn an automatic bid into the conference tournament, I guess you could say. And then they seed them based on overall conference record. So as it stands now, Park currently at 15-0 would be the number 1 seed. CMU the number 2 seed at 12-3. Mount Mercy, I believe, at 13-3 would be the 3. And then Benedictine as the 4 would come in at 11-4. And then William Penn as the 5 seed. Again, that's the top 2 seeds in each division, but they're seeded according to conference record. So a little bit different than what you see for basketball. And then MNU would come in as the 6, Grandview would come in as the 7, and then Missouri Valley as the 8. So the good thing for CMU, mind you, Mount Mercy right now 13-3 overall. But if they were to, for some reason to tie, CMU's got the head-to-head or the tiebreaker because they swept Mount Mercy way back when in September. So, but again, now looking at this, I mean, CMU could easily flip to the 4. They could drop depending on how things go with Benedictine. But I mean, it's unpredictable in this conference. You think one team is solidified, and then at the end of the day, they end up switching, and someone beats someone in 5 or someone sweeps someone else. So current standings for volleyball, if seeding were to take place today: Park number 1, CMU number 2, Mount Mercy number 3, Benedictine number 4, William Penn number 5, MNU number 6, Grandview 7th, and then Missouri Valley College 8. But again, we've still got a couple of conference matches to be played. The non-conference try with Missouri Baptist and Columbia College won't do anything for the conference standings. It'll just be something to help boost ratings and as we get into postseason play. So again, this is it's a hectic time of year, but it's honestly one of the favorite times of year because all the postseason is going on. So, the way that looks, CMU Volleyball could potentially host a quarterfinal and a semifinal matchup. But again, still too much to be played, and a lot of that will depend on what happens with volleyball at Benedictine on Friday. So again, you guys can catch all the action in conference play live on the Hart Conference Network. Josh and his crew up at Benedictine always do a good job, so you guys will be well taken care of. It'll just be a matter if CMU Volleyball can rebound from a tough loss against Benedictine in their conference opener and bookend both of those matches, come up with a win. Again, it helps when I think Benedictine ended up picking up a loss to maybe MNU. So that always helps in that standing. So, but again, CMU Volleyball, they'll be back in action at home on Halloween night. That ball is skied out of play. So they'll be back in action. That'll be senior night. And I forget how many seniors are graduating, but I think there's about 10 of them. So it's a very senior-laden team that Coach Coleman's got on his staff. So looking to secure a high seed in the conference tournament and a berth into the NAI opening round again. Again, I think looking for their 6th straight opening round berth is CMU volleyball. I think they've hosted every year that they've had the chance. Last year, left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, ended up losing 5 to St. Xavier. Did not make the final site in Sioux City, so you got to imagine that's on their minds as they look to learn from that. So we'll get a stoppage and play on the clock, 10:20 remaining here. And we'll have a substitution. Max Leiker for CMU is going to come on. So. Always our favorite time of year, a little chaotic. We've got crossover season because we've got basketball starting. And wrestling. And indoor track and field. Just as men's soccer, football, women's soccer, volleyball are all kind of ending, but kind of not. It's kind of a mix, so. Again, there's always something going on at CMU, so again, you guys can check out all the action at cmueagles.com. Watch all the action live on the Hart Conference Network. Be sure to follow us on all the socials at CMU Eagles. Kean Halpin is going to come off. Looks like he is a little bit injured. So, good night for Halpin. And again, about 10:20 left on the clock here. So, once this game wraps up, we'll give you guys some quick stats, and then we'll get you out of here because the do-or-die games are coming up here for the CMU men. They'll host Clark University for Senior Day. That'll be at 5:30 here at Davis Field. Again, want to give a shout out to my whole team for all that they do. I had Ozzy Barella sitting out in the rain for 3 hours. Probably more than that, just running the camera, so she's done a good job tonight given the crazy circumstances. So shout out to her. J. Caitlin Streeter running stats as usual, always does a good job. Natalie Quinteros on the broadcast, as well as KJ Johnson. So CMU just clearing the bench here as we're just about 7 minutes away from calling this one a day. CMU's going to improve to 7-6-3, 4-4-2 in conference play, so that'll be. I actually don't know how many points that'll be. I've forgotten how to add. Correct. Well done. So I got it right here. Yes. Thanks. So again, if you're around tomorrow, we will have reserve volleyball action. They will host a single game tomorrow. I believe that is a conference tournament game for them. That's how they've designated that. So that is officially postseason for them. And I think they play Missouri Valley. They do. So if you guys are around, that's going to be a 6 o'clock first serve for reserve volleyball. And we'll get a stoppage and play on the clock, and we may get our first yellow card, and we do. That's going to be assessed to number 24, Mohammed Belmadi. So, Mo, junior midfielder, 5'8". It's the first booking of the night, I think. It is, so we'll get another substitution for Culver. Scores around from the Heart of America Athletic Conference, courtesy of the meteorologist and the tie-breaking guru, that is Tim Crowley. So thank you, Tim. So I think these are all final or close to being final. So Mid-America Nazarene knocks off Baker in Olathe. It's a 1-0 score. Obviously, Clark came back to beat Mount Mercy 4-3. Missouri Valley up 2-0 over Graceland in Marshall. And then CMU's doing CMU things here today. 8-0 win over Culver-Stockton at the moment. See if they can add any more. And then William Penn currently up 2-0 over Grandview in Des Moines, Iowa. About 14 minutes left on that game. And those other two games, Missouri Valley and Graceland, and obviously CMU at Culver. Timers winding down on those games, so those will be wins for Valley and CMU. The lone conference game on Wednesday for the men will be Benedictine at Park, and that could prove interesting depending on what happens there in terms of seeding. So, an offsides called on Culver-Stockton. So, yes. Mm-mm. Just about 3 minutes left here in this one. CMU an 8-0 lead. 5 first-half goals. 3 in the second half. And again, we'll give you guys some quick stats, and then we'll get you out of here. Again, appreciate anyone that's tuning in and listening tonight. Ball struck too high, though. Be a goal kick for Culver-Stockton. So 1 minute left on the clock here. So that's going to do it here from Davis Field for soccer for the evening. A good night if you're an Eagles fan. CMU women come away with a 4-0 victory in the opener of this doubleheader, and then the CMU men come away with an 8-0 victory over Culver-Stockton College, and really helps their seeding in the conference tournament. Although a win tonight does not guarantee them a spot in the conference tournament, it sure helps their chances, and it'll really come down to what they do against Clark University this Saturday at 5:30 p.m. for Senior Day. So quick stats here for you guys as we wrap up. CMU finishes the night with 20. Well, hold on. Let me refresh. Presto's not quite as quick as I would like it to be, but long story short, CMU finishes with 25 total shots, 11 shots on goal, compared to just 7 shots, 2 shots on goal for Culver-Stockton. 10 corner kicks, so a lot of set-piece opportunities for CMU, just 1 corner for Culver-Stockton. No offsides, 3 offsides for Culver-Stockton, 14 combined fouls between the two sides. Nicolo Cabras will get the win and goal for CMU. And then Matthias Stork, a hat trick. He had 5 shots, 3 of those shots coming on goal, of course, those 3 being the difference makers for CMU. Jayton Johnson finishes with 5 shots, 1 shot on goal. He had a goal as well. Alvaro Projo, just 1 shot, but that proved to be a goal for the Eagles as well. Isaac Johnson, Kuhn Schimmel, both with a pair of shots. Kuhn Schimmel a goal and an assist. Basil Araney also picked up an assist. Nafal Hassani, Kean Halpin, and Gage Cameron to round out the scoring for CMU. So a really good night if you're a CMU fan. Absolutely just a dominant performance for the Eagles over Culver-Stockton. With that, CMU's going to improve to 7-6-3, and then 4-4-2 in conference play. Culver-Stockton's going to drop to 2-9-5 and 0-9-1 in conference play, and that really helps CMU's chances here as they look to secure a berth in the Hart Conference tournament. So Shout out to a few people as we go, because I know it's not easy, and it takes sometimes a village to run a soccer doubleheader. Shout out to my G8 Caitlin Streeter on Sats, Clara Crawley running the scoreboard for me, the duo of Natalie Quinteros and KJ Johnson producing, running different cameras, and just basically running around and doing whatever I asked them to do. And then Ozzy Barella, the unsung hero of tonight, sat out in the rain for 4 or 5 plus hours to capture everything on the camera, so I want to give a big shout out to her. And thanks to Tim Crowley for coming on and providing some enlightening information on conference tournament seating. I wish we could do it more often. I'll see if I can get him on a broadcast more, and we'll get more of him on there. If I get another headset, we can do like a splitter, and we can have just a full-fledged podcast for you guys. But be on the lookout of that. If you guys are interested in that, feel free to shoot me a message if you have my number, or you can message us at CMU Eagles on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the good places. So that's going to do it here. Final score from Fayette Davis Field. CMU comes away with an 8-0 victory over Culver-Stockton College. Their final game of the regular season will be at home on Senior Day at 5:30 p.m. against Clark. Senior Day festivities will take place before. So that'll do it here. This is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications here at Central. Really appreciate everyone tuning in that listens to these broadcasts. So we'll see you on Friday for more soccer action. You've been listening to CMU Eagles Men's Soccer.